We're here. Clock out, mentally at least, and pull up a chair. Welcome to the broken shift where the codes are emotional, the tea is hot, and the trauma, oh, it's charted, just not processed, and definitely not reimbursed. I'm Nat, and when it gets deep, like grab your crystals and call HR kind of deep, that's when Natalie Michelle shows up. Just know if you hear both names, buckle up. Oh, yes, we have another incident here from good old Texas. And this one's older. It's from 2014. And like I told you guys, I'm bringing you older incidents because we have to talk about it. I want to show pics. I am compiling these here as best as I can. I'll take a break when I need to because it's ugly. And this woman here, in 2014, got upset at her wife's treatment and she decided to punch the ER nurse. You know, our ER nurses are the first line of defense. Like when people come in, when they come in for treatment, right? Unless they are a direct admit. But many times patients are admitted from the emergency room. So our emergency room nurses really take a beating. I mean, it happens all over, but these nurses really take a beating. And uh, let's read through this story together and then we're going to talk about it. Amber Brune, 30, of College Station in Houston, Brazos County Justice. This is from the Brazos County Justice Records, and this is her. This is she, if I will. Let's close this so we can see her. This photograph is courtesy of the Brazos County's judicial records. Yep. Assault on a public service on January 5th, 2014. And although this is older, it's very relevant, right? Because it just doesn't stop. Why did she hit the nurse? Why did she punch the nurse? Let's find out. A College Station woman complaining about treatment given to her wife threw a punch at an emergency room nurse, police said. Amber Sunshine Brune, 30, was arrested at about 7:45 a.m. January 5th, 2014 at College Station Medical Center and remained Tuesday afternoon in the Brazos County Jail. Officers were called to the hospital regarding a possible case of public intoxication. He said, while en route, the officer learned the person had assaulted an emergency room staff member. So she came. It sounds like she may have been allegedly. She was allegedly intoxicated. I don't know the incident, but you know that's what the ER nurses face. People come in intoxicated injured a lot in the emergency room and happens more often than not, I would imagine. I've never been an emergency room nurse, but if you are, please drop me a comment down below, share so that our viewers can see, because not all the viewers are nurses. Us nurses, we know what's up. We want this out there for the public to see. When officers arrived, Brune told them she was unhappy with the medical care being provided to her wife, who had been brought in for seizures. She said the nurse was rude to her. I don't know what was there, but I can imagine if she was intoxicated, the nurse was probably annoyed because she was probably trying to do her job, right? But that's not to say that nurses can be rude, but somebody being rude to you does not give you the right to hit them, whether it's an ER nurse or not. But, you know, when we're intoxicated, or when people are intoxicated, I should say, you know, they do belligerent things. She didn't like the way she and her wife were being treated, and so she punched the nurse in the face. So when we don't like the way people treat us or the way people talk to us, we no longer have control over our own faculties. We just lash out and with physical abuse. The nurse suffered facial swelling and redness, but was otherwise uninjured. I don't even know why they bothered to put that in here, because she was injured. Otherwise, I mean, otherwise uninjured, I get it, but you know that it was like, you know, I despise this comment because it downplays the injuries. It downplays what happened. Facial swelling and redness, right? She probably had a black eye, which was completely uncalled for, and unnecessary, and speaks to, you know, this whole story speaks to what we're talking about here. That, you know, nurses are constantly in danger. Like, you don't know. Like, you think, Sometimes you're getting attacked by the patients, you're getting attacked by the patients' families. The hospitals want the healthcare system wants to allow family members to be there, right, for support. But then when things like this happen, and then we wonder why we go to the emergency room and you get asked to sit outside in the waiting room to wait. And should a family member who's intoxicated even be allowed into the emergency room with the person? Right? Where is security? Obviously, at this point, police had to get involved because there was an assault, but where's the hospital security again? And I know there were recently some laws passed in at the beginning of this year in Texas, since we're talking about Texas, that are supposed to help with this, but still, my I still say, where's the hospital security? Where's the first line of defense? Where are the rules about who, and of course, this woman was been brought in for seizures, so everybody was kind of probably, I'm not going to speculate, but I can kind of maybe speculate kind of what was happening here as a nurse, but I won't speculate about anybody's condition because I don't know the condition and I'm not here to diagnose. But and we can't make a diagnosis anyway without seeing the patient, and nurses don't diagnose, doctors do. So, but all in all, this speaks to the gravity of the situation. Like you don't know, and nurses are stressed. You've been in the ER for a long time, and that doesn't mean you have to be rude to the patient. But what is considered rude? What? Because I asked you to stand back and let me take care of the patient because I told you we're waiting for results from the doctor. So for different people, for everyone, that's going to be different. So as a nurse, how are you supposed to anticipate what the family member is going to find rude? What's going to upset them? They are already upset when they come to the emergency room, and now they are just belligerently attacking the nurses who are there to help you. So who did she think after she did all this was going to be able to help and treat? How was that going to make the situation better? Because after punching this nurse had to get treatment. She probably did not continue her shift. And so now the ER was one short one other nurse. Right? So how did that expedite? Like, you have to think. For the people out there who go to the emergency rooms, come to the hospital and get upset, how does this behavior expedite the care that you're looking for? If you weren't getting it already, beating up the nurse and removing her from the care of the patient, which is your family member that you were taking care of, or your care if you are the patient, is not going to expedite your care by any means. Hospitals are short-staffed. It's a fact. Why they're short-staffed, what they're doing about it, I don't know. You don't know. But this is not the solution. Drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. And nursing shouldn't break you. It shouldn't even break your patients. And I will see you in the next one. Subscribe.